Once upon a time, there was a girl named Red who lived in the woods with her mother, who was constantly worried Red would leave her like her father did. About a week ago, a doctor came by and told the mother that she most likely suffers from paranoia, and also diagnosed Red with ADHD. One day, Red's mother had baked a wonderful batch of cookies, and Red thought it would be a nice idea to bring these treats to her ill grandmother that lived deep in the woods. But due to her mother's paranoia, she was reluctant on letting Red go, but after hours of arguing, she finally gave in. On the way to her grandmother's, she met a wolf, but little did Red know the wolf was extremely dangerous since he suffered from antisocial personality disorder, making him a ruthless psychopath as well as a top predator in the woods.
Hello, Red. Where you heading to so late?
Good evening, Wolf. I'm off to take this basket to my grandmother since she is feeling ill.
Oh, that's very kind of you. If you don't mind me asking, where does she live?
Her house is not that far from here. It is surrounded by trees and overlooks the river. I'm sure you've seen it before.
Oh, look at those pretty flowers growing to the side of the pathway. You should pick them and bring them to your grandmother. I'm sure that she would be pleased if you brought her more gifts.
Because Red was only a child, her basic trust got the best of her, and she hopped down the pathway to go pick the flowers. Every time she picked one, she saw another one that was even more beautiful than the last. While she was picking flowers, the wolf quickly ran to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door.
Hello? Who's there?
It seemed that the grandmother had forgotten that Red was coming to visit. It was not surprising since the grandmother was diagnosed with dementia when she was 60.
Oh, it's just Red. How could you forget me?
Sorry, Red. As you know, my memory isn't as great as it used to be. Nothing less. I am too weak to get up. Please just open the latch and come in yourself.
The wolf quickly opened the door, leapt into the grandmother's bed, and ate her. He then stole her clothes, put them on, and waited for Red to arrive. Meanwhile, Red had just collected all the flowers that she could carry, and eventually decided to walk towards her grandmother's. When she had arrived, she had noticed that the door was left open, but since her grandmother never leaves the door open, she suspected that something was wrong. She looked into the bedroom and had a sudden moment of relief when she saw the silhouette of her grandmother sleeping in the bed.
Oh, grandmother, it's so good to see you. You had me so worried. The door was left open.
Oh, there's nothing to worry about, dear. Close the door, will you?
Red listened to her grandmother, but little did she know the wolf was actually manipulating her using the foot in the door phenomenon.
Good. Now that you've done that, why don't you step closer? It's been a long time since I last saw you, and I want to know what you look like.
Oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have.
All the better for my optic nerve to send information to my visual cortex.
Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have.
All the better for my auditory nerve to send information to my auditory cortex.
Oh, grandmother, what a horribly big mouth you have.
All the better for my taste buds to send information to my hypothalamus when I'm eating you.
And with that, the wolf jumped out of the bed and attacked Red. But luckily, there was a hunter nearby. The amygdala of the hunter was activated when he saw the wolf, and he experienced fight or flight, and kicked down the door. Fortunately, the hunter was also the behavioral psychologist who helped everyone in the area. Once he had sat Red and the wolf down, he listened to both sides of their story and began to figure out a way to solve the problem. The hunter used aversive conditioning on Red and made it so that she associated walking off the path with nausea. After that, he sent Red home and wrote a note which described everything that had happened. He had also made the questionable decision to transfer the wolf to a lab where he used behavior modification therapy to turn the wolf into a vegetarian.